We will start with the next lecture, and in this lecture we are going to see what is Z transform. What is the definition of Z transform? A Z transform of a sequence f of k is defined as Z of f of k is equal to summation a equal to minus infinity to infinity f of k z raised to minus k, or it is also denoted by f of z, where z is equal to x plus iy is a complex number. Okay. Now, what is the sequence? Sequence means for different integer values of k, the value of the function is known to us. Okay. So only for the particular values, the function is value of that function is known. It is means if you take any value in between the two integers, then the value of the function is not defined. Such type of terms are called sequence, or these are called as a discrete functions. Okay, where in between values of the functions are not known, and if we know the values of the function at each point, then that function we call as a continuous function. Okay, and for continuous function we use Fourier transform. Okay, now here for continuous function we can take integration, but if we are having a discrete function we cannot take integration. So in that case, instead of taking integration, we can solve it by taking summation. This is a notation for summation. Summation or k equal to minus infinity to infinity f of k z raised to minus k, okay, where z is a complex number. Now, whenever this summation k equal to minus infinity to infinity f of k z raised to minus k is convergent. Convergent means the summation comes out to be a finite number, and the values of z for which this summation is finite, okay, that we call as a region of convergence. Okay, the values of z for which this summation is a convergent series, or this summation is a finite term, for all that values of z which lies within some region, that region is called as a region of convergence. Okay, so here it doesn't have to take any integration, it totally based on this summation, and there are some formulas of summation we'll see, making use of that formulas and this standard formula of z transform we can easily find, we can easily solve the problem. So it is very easy, no integration, no derivative, just proper substitution and remembering these standard formulas, we can easily get the answer. Now, what are the formulas we required for this unit? Okay, there are some properties of this Z transform. We are having two sequences, f of k and g of k. And if a and b are constant term, then Z transform a into f of k plus b into g of k, it is equal to a into z f of k plus b into z transform g of k. So what is this property? We can separate out the summation and we can take constant term out of that Z transform. Okay, so this property we call as a linearity property. Now, there are some standard formulas which we have already used in the first unit, that is 1 minus y plus y square minus y cube plus dot dot dot. All this term is equal to 1 upon 1 plus y, and 1 plus y square plus y cube plus dot dot dot, it is 1 upon 1 minus y. Uh, in the linear differential equation shortcut method, wherever we are having x raised to m, in that case we do the expansion of 1 upon 1 plus terms in d or 1 minus terms in d. There we use both these formulas. Okay, I'm just recalling that two formulas. 1 upon 1 plus y, the expansion is 1 minus y plus y square minus y cube plus dot dot dot, and 1 upon 1 minus y is 1 plus y square plus y cube plus dot dot dot. And the condition, this term, this all the summation will be finite provided mod of y is less than 1. Okay, mod of this y has to be less than 1. Otherwise, this summation will go to infinity. It will not give us a finite term. Only for such values of y it is finite. There is one more formula. This we call as a binomial expansion. 1 plus y raised to n. It is 1 plus n into y plus n into n minus 1 into y square divided by 2 factorial plus n into n minus 1 into n minus 2 y cube upon 3 factorial plus dot dot dot. Basically, we use these two formulas and the definition of Z transform. Okay, but in some problems, we require this binomial expansion also. Okay, now we'll see how to make use of these two formulas and the basic definition of Z transform to solve the problem. This is very easy and very important. Just remember these two formulas and definition of Z transform in the form of summation. Find Z transform of f of k is equal to 1 by 5 raised to k for k greater equal 0 and 1 by 3 raised to k for k less than 0. Okay. Here k takes integer values, means k can take 0, 1, 2, 3 like that up to infinity, and k strictly less than 0 means k takes value strictly less than 0, that is minus 1, minus 2, minus 3 up to minus infinity. Here k takes integer values. Okay. Now just use definition of Z transform. What is the Z transform? Z transform of f of k is summation k equal to minus infinity to infinity f of k z raised to minus k. Standard definition. We are using that. Okay. Now this f of k is defined in different interval. So according to these interval, we have to split this summation. Now carefully look at the difference between integration and summation. In integration, these endpoints are considered. Okay, when we split the integration, we consider the limits from 0 to infinity and minus infinity to 0. But when we split the summation, then we have to take the actual integer values in that interval. This is greater equal 0. So 0 is included over here. 0, 1, 2, 3 up to infinity. So all that terms are there for this interval. And strictly less than 0 means k cannot take value 0 here. K takes the value which are strictly less than 0, that is minus 1, minus 2 up to minus infinity. So split this integration summation according to these intervals and put the corresponding value of the function. So what are the intervals? It will be 0 up to infinity, and this will be minus infinity up to minus 1. 0 is not included here because it is a summation. If it is an integration, then we have to take the limits up to 0. But whenever it is a summation, then we have to take the values strictly less than 0. And strictly less than 0 means up to minus 1. So limits will be minus infinity up to minus 1 and 0 up to infinity. So that summation becomes k equal to minus infinity up to minus 1. Between minus infinity up to minus 1, it takes value 1 by 3 raised to k. This z raised to minus k as it is, plus summation 0 to infinity. Between 0 to infinity, it takes value 1 by 5 raised to k into z raised to minus k. Correct? So don't forget that the difference between summation and integration. For summation, depending on the values, if it is greater equal, then include that point. Strictly less than 0, then don't include 0. Take the values which are strictly less than that point. Okay, so we get this. Now what to do? Now substitute the values of k. Substitute the values of k in this function. For first summation, k takes values minus 1, minus 2, minus 3 up to minus infinity, integer values. And for second summation, k takes values from 0, 1, 2, 3 like that up to infinity. So put the values of k in the summation. So when we put k equal to minus 1, it becomes 1 by 3 raised to minus 1, z raised to minus of minus 1, that will be plus 1. Then put k equal to minus 2, it will be 1 by 3 raised to minus 2, z raised to minus of minus 2, plus k equal to minus 3, it will be 1 by 3 raised to minus 3, z raised to minus of minus 3, plus dot dot dot. Okay, we are just putting the values of k in this summation. Now put k equal to 0 in the second these second terms. K equal to 0, it become 1 by 5 raised to 0, z raised to 0. K equal to 1, 1 by 5 raised to 1, z raised to minus 1. Then k equal to 2, 1 by 5 raised to 2, z raised to minus 2. Okay. So it is very easy. Just properly do the substitution, properly split the summation and put the values of k. Here for first summation, k takes values minus 1, minus 2, minus 3 like that. So put that values in this function. And for second summation, k takes values from 0 to infinity. So put the values of k as 0, 1, 2 like that. Take first few terms, 3, 4 terms. Now simplify it. 1 by 5 raised to 0, z raised to 0, that will be 1. Okay, like that, just simplify this further. So raised to 0 term will be 1, rest of the terms you can keep it as it is. Now you can simplify this further. 1 by 3 raised to minus 1. It become 1 upon 1 by 3, and 1 upon 1 by 3 is 3. This will be 1 by 3 raised to minus 2. So it become 1 upon 1 by 3 square. That will be goes to numerator. It become 3 square. This become 3 cube. This become 1 by 5. Z raised to minus 1 will be 1 by z. Z raised to minus 2 will be 1 by z square. Like that, we get the terms. Just simplifying it further. Okay. This 3 go to numerator. It become 3z. 3 square z square. 3 cube z cube plus dot 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 plus 1 plus this will be 1 by 5z. Z raised to minus 1. It will go to denominator. It become 1 by 5z. This become 1 by 5 square z square plus dot dot dot. Now we know standard formula of 1 plus y square plus y cube. Okay, so try to write these terms into that standard formula. Try to get 1 plus y square plus y cube like that terms. Here in the second term, 1 is already there. In first term, there is no 1. And easy way to get 1 is just take this first term common. Take 3z common. Okay. Taking 3z common, it become 1 plus 1 3z is common, so remaining is 3z. It becomes 3 square z square. That can be written as 3z whole term square plus dot dot dot. And these terms, we can write it as 1 plus first term is 1 by 5z. This is 1 by 5 square z square. That we can write it as 1 by 5z whole term square plus dot dot dot. Correct? Now we know the formula 1 plus y square, and that term is nothing but 1 upon 1 minus y. Same thing over here, 1 plus y square. All that expansion is 1 upon 1 minus y. Okay, for first term y is 3z, and for the second bracket y is 1 by 5z. Okay, so by using that standard formula, we get 3z into 1 upon 1 minus 3z plus 1 upon 1 minus 1 by 5z. Y is 1 by 5z for second term, and for first term y is 3z. And there is one condition on this term, mod y must be less than 1. So mod of 3z must be less than 1, and mod of 1 by 5z must be less than 1. Okay. You can simplify it further. You can take 5z to the numerator, multiply and divide by 5z. 3z you can take it inside. It becomes f of z equal to 3z upon 1 minus 3z. If you multiply and divide by 5z, it becomes 5z upon 5z minus 1. Take constant terms on one side. So z become mod z will be less than 1 by 3. Taking 3 to other side, mod of 3 is 3. And taking this z to other side. So mod z become mod z will be greater than 1 by 5. Okay. Here keeping z as it is, and here taking this z to other side. Now we can combine these two conditions. Combine these two conditions. Mod z is greater than 1 by 5 and less than 1 by 3. So mod z takes value in between 1 by 5 and 1 by 3. This we call as the region of convergence. Only for these values of z, this Fourier transform exists. It gives us a finite value. Otherwise, for all other z, which is not in between these values, the summation become this Z transform doesn't exist, and that this summation will be infinity. Okay, so this is called region of convergence. You can see nowhere we have used any integration, no derivative. What we have to do? First of all, according to the function, we have to split the summation. Then put the values of k, integer values of k into the function. Then try to write that given terms in the form of 1 plus y square plus y cube in that form. And then use the standard formula and write the condition in terms of mod, and that condition in terms of mod will be region of convergence, and this corresponding f of z will be the z transform of given function. It is very easy, just basic definition and the formulas, that two formulas are very important. Consider the next problem. And z transform of f of t is equal to 5 into 3 raised to k plus 1 plus 3 into 2 raised to k plus 1 for k greater or equal 0. So again use the definition of Z transform. Definition of Z transform is k equal to minus infinity to infinity f of k z raised to minus k. Now according to the limits in the given function, we have to split this summation. Now here k takes values greater or equal 0. So k takes value 0, 1, 2, 3 up to infinity. For negative values of k, the function is not defined. So whenever function is not defined for any interval, we assume that the function takes value 0 for that interval. So for all negative values of k, we are assuming that the function takes value 0. Only for k greater or equal 0, we have to find a corresponding Z transform. So this summation from minus infinity to infinity now become summation from 0 up to infinity. Negative interval we doesn't have to consider, because for negative interval the function is not defined, and if it is not defined, then we consider that function takes value 0, and summation of zeros will be 0. So the new interval will equal means 0 is included. If it is strictly greater, then we take the values which are strictly greater than 0, that is 1, 2, 3 up to infinity. But greater equal is also there, so it takes values from 0 to infinity. And between 0 to infinity, the value of the function is 5 into 3 raised to k plus 1 plus 3 into 2 raised to k plus 1. All this term multiplied by z raised to minus k. Now multiply z raised to minus k to each term. By using the linearity property, we can take these constant terms outside and we can separate out the summation. So by taking outside, summation 3 raised to k plus 1 z raised to minus k multiplying to this term plus 3 constant, take it outside, summation k equal to 0 to infinity 2 raised to k plus 1 z raised to minus k. And now put the values of k into it. Put k equal to 0, k equal to 1, k equal to 2 in this term as well as in the second term. Substituting integer values of k. F of z will be 5 into, put k equal to 0, it becomes 3 raised to 0 plus 1, z raised to 0. K equal to 1, 3 raised to 1 plus 1, z raised to minus 1. K equal to 2, 3 raised to 2 plus 1, z raised to minus 2. Like that, put the values of k in the first term. Do the same thing for the second term. Put k equal to 0, it becomes 2 raised to 0 plus 1, z raised to 0. K equal to 1, 2 raised to 1 plus 1, z raised to minus 1. K equal to 2, 2 raised to 2 plus 1, z raised to minus 2 plus dot dot dot. Correct? Now simplify it. Z raised to 0 is 1. We know the formula for 1 plus y square plus terms like that. So we want 1 over here, and to get 1 here, you can take this first term common. First term over here is 3, and first term over here is 2. Z raised to 0 is 1. 2 raised to 1 is 2. So take 2 common from the second bracket common. and take 3 common from this first bracket. By that we get 1 over here. First term become 1. So when we take 3 common, it become first term become 1, second term become 3 into z raised to minus 1. But z raised to minus 1 means 1 by z. Here it become 3 square z raised to minus 2. But z raised to minus 2 is 1 by z square. 3 square by z square, we can write it as 3 by z whole term square. Next term will be 3 cube z raised to minus 3. That can be written as 3 by z whole term cube plus dot dot dot. From second bracket, we have taken 2 common. So first term become 1 plus. Take 2 common, it become 2 into z raised to minus 1. And 2 into z raised to minus 1 is 2 by z. 2 by z. 2 square z raised to minus 2, it becomes 2 square by z square. That can be written as 2 by z whole term square plus dot dot dot. Okay, why we are doing so? Because we want to write these terms in the form 1 plus y square plus y cube in that form. And now use that standard formula 1 plus y square plus y cube. All that term is nothing but 1 upon 1 minus y. Same thing for this. For first bracket, y is 3 by z, and for second terms, y is 2 by z. Okay, so the term become into 3 is 15. All this term will be 1 upon 1 minus y, y is 3 by z, plus 2 into 3 into 2 is 6, 1 upon 1 minus y, y is 2 by z. And this will be finite for mod of y is less than 1. For first term, y is 3 by z, so mod of 3 by z must be less than 1. And for second term, y is 2 by z, so mod of 2 by z is less than 1. Now take this z to other side, mod z to other side. Mod 3 is 3, mod 2 is 2. Taking mod z to other side. And here also you can simplify it, multiply and divide numerator and denominator by z. F of z become 15 into multiplying and dividing by z, it becomes z upon z minus 3 plus 6 into z upon z minus 2. 3 is less than mod z, 2 is less than mod z. No, mod z is greater than 2 and mod z is greater than 3. As we know that uh, 3 is greater than 2. So if mod z is greater than 3, then it will be obviously greater than 2. Okay, because 3 is greater than 2. So, if mod z is greater than 2, then obviously it will be greater than 3. Okay, so because of that, we can combine that two conditions. Okay, as 3 is greater than 2. So, if it is greater than 3, it will be obviously greater than 2. So, we can combine these two conditions. Okay, because 3 is greater than 2. So, these two conditions get combined. And we get the answer f of z equal to 15z upon z minus 3 plus 6z minus 3. And this will be the region of convergence, combining these two conditions. Okay, that gives us the region of convergence, ROC. Okay. So again, we use the definition of Fourier Z transform. Then what we have done, we split the summation according to the function. Then we substitute the values of k into it. Then we try to write the function in the form of 1 plus y square plus y cube in that form. And then using the standard formulas, we get the Z transform. Don't forget to write this condition, mod of y is less than 1. So whatever y is there, use that term and get the condition in mod Z. Okay, that will be the region of convergence. Consider the next problem. Find the Z transform f of k is equal to 2 raised to k for k less than 0, 1 by 3 raised to k for k equal to 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, dot, dot, dot. 1 by 5 raised to k for k equal to 1, 3, 5, 7, dot, dot, dot. So for all even values, it takes 1 by 3 raised to k. For odd values, it takes 1 by 5 raised to k. And for all negative values, it takes 2 raised to k. Okay. So first use the definition. F of z will be summation k equal to minus infinity to infinity. F of k z raised to minus k. Now according to these intervals, split the summation. For negative values, it takes value 2 raised to k. Strictly less than 0 means k takes value -1, -2, -3 up to minus infinity. Okay. Here strictly less than 0. So 0 is not included. And for positive interval is again divided into two parts. For even number, it takes different value, and for odd numbers, it takes different value. So firstly split it into positive and negative, then split positive into two parts, even and odd terms. Okay. So we are splitting firstly into two parts, positive and negative, minus infinity up to -1, strictly less than 0, so it is up to -1, and next part is 0 to infinity. Less than 0, 2 raised to k. Now substitute the values of k in this first term. K takes values -1, -2, -3 up in this first term. Now in second term, depending on k, we have to take the corresponding value of the function. So firstly put k equal to 0. At k equal to 0, function takes value 1 by 3 raised to k. So 1 by 3 raised to 0, z raised to 0. When k equal to 1, it takes value 1 by 5 raised to k. So it becomes 1 by 5 raised to 1, z raised to -1. When k equal to 2, it becomes 1 by 3 square, z raised to -2. K equal to 3, 1 by 5 raised to 3, z raised to -3. K equal to 4, 1 by 3 raised to 4, z raised to -4. So depending on value of k, whether it is even or odd, accordingly we have to put the corresponding, take the corresponding function, 1 by 3 or 1 by 5, and then take few terms. Now, collect all 1 by 3 terms together, collect all 1 by 5 terms together, and try to write these terms as 1 plus y square in that format. Okay, because we know the formula for that. So try to write, first collect the terms together, and then try to write it in the form of 1 plus y square in that format. Okay. Negative powers, we take it into denominator. So it becomes z into 2 raised to -1 becomes z by 2, z square by 2 square, z cube by 3 square, 3 cube plus dot dot dot. 3 raised to 0, 1 by 3 raised to 0, z raised to 0 become 1. It becomes 1 plus 3, 1 by 3 square z square plus 1 by 3 raised to 4 z raised to 4 plus dot dot dot. Here we get 1 by 5 into z raised to -1. That becomes 1 by 5z plus 1 by 5 cube z cube plus 1 by 5 raised to 5 z raised to 5 plus dot dot dot. Now we know the formula which starts with 1 plus y plus like that terms. For first term there is no y, first bracket there is no 1. So take this first term common, take z by 2 common. Second, 1 is already there, no problem. In third term, 1 is not there. So take 1 by 5z common. So take the terms common to get 1. So taking z by 2 common, we get 1 plus z by 2 plus z by 2, z square by 2 square. That becomes z by 2 square, z cube by 2 cube. That is z by 2 cube. Like that we get the terms. Now, this term we want to write in the form of 1 plus y square. So if we consider this 1 by 3 square z square as y, the next term will be 1 upon 3 raised to 4 z raised to 4. That is nothing but square of this term. Next term is 1 by 3 square z square whole term square plus next term will be 1 by 3 square z square whole term cube plus dot dot dot. After taking 1 by 5z common, first term is 1, second term will be 1 by 5 square z square, third term will be 1 by 5 raised to 4 z raised to 4. But 5 raised to 4 z raised to 4 is nothing but square of 5 square z square. Next term will be 1 by 5 raised to 6 z raised to 6. That is nothing but cube of 5 square z square. So we get the terms like this. And now use the formula 1 plus y square plus y cube. That formula is 1 upon 1 minus y. For first term, y is z by 2. For second term, y is 1 by 3 square z square. And for third term, y is 1 upon 5 square z square. So f of z is z by 2 into 1 upon 1 minus z by 2 plus 1 upon 1 minus 1 by 3 square z square plus 1 by 5z into 1 upon 1 minus 1 by 5 square z square. Provided mod of z by 2 less than 1, mod of 1 by 3 square z square less than 1, mod of 1 by phi square z square less than 1. Try to simplify it then. These are the conditions on these terms. Mod y is less than 1. So for all these three terms, y is different. So use that term which is less than 1. Simplify it further, multiply and divide by 2 over here. 3 square z square become 9z square. Multiply and divide by 9z square. Phi square is 25. So it is 25z square. So take 25z square to numerator. Here also keep z square on one side, keep z on one side, and further simplify. So multiplying and dividing by corresponding terms, f of z becomes z by 2 into 2 by z minus 2 plus 9z square by 9z square minus 1 plus 1 by 5z into 25z square upon 25z square minus 1. Provided taking 2 to other side, it becomes mod z less than 1. Taking z square to other side, mod z square greater than 1 by 9. And taking mod z square to other side, it is mod of z square greater than 1 by 25. Okay. Now 1 by 9 is greater than 1 by 25. Okay, so if mod z square is greater than 1 by 9, it is obviously greater than 1 by 25. Okay, so combine that two terms, we get the answer f of z is equal to z upon 2 minus z plus 9z square upon 9z square minus 1 plus 5z upon 25z square minus 1, provided mod z less than 2 and mod of z square is greater than 1 by 9. So basically, in all these problems, we use the definition of Z transform in the form of summation. Then we put the values of K, actual values of K into the terms, and then converting it into standard form, 1 plus y square in that form. And then using the standard formula, that is 1 upon 1 minus y, mod of y is less than 1. Using that, we can get the Z transform. Okay, so it is very easy, no integration, no derivative, just simplification we have to do, and that gives us the answer.